G'day folks, Wren here, and it's time for the Pickpongathon TBR. Some SeasonAthon Academy TBR as well. So in September I'm doing many readathons, but one of the ones that has a really cool way of choosing the books is Pickpongathon, which is hosted by Krystal from Bond Book Reviews, and you basically play her TBR game, which is Pickpong. Throw some bowls into cups, and on the bottom of the cups is some prompts. So that's what I have done for the TBR this time. Last time I just did a random number generator, but this time I wanted to do the actual throwing. Might have been a mistake because the only place in my house that I had enough room was on the floor. I crawled along the floor, and let me tell you, my knees were not meant to be crawling on the ground. So I was in pain for like most of this video, and then makes sense that now as I'm filming this bit I have a headache that's very quickly turning into a migraine. So, you know, this whole TBR situation is just all about pain. Which also makes sense because it is currently SeasonAthon. So there's that. If you haven't seen the SeasonAthon prompt drop, the first one was on Paige's channel from Pages with Paige, and it's a good time, filled with lots of pain, in the best way possible. At the end of my Pickpongathon TBR, I will also be doing my SeasonAthon Academy TBR, which is hosted by Melanie from Completely Melanie. And SeasonAthon is a readathon that happens several times a year, and the one in September is called SeasonAthon Academy. And I really like it because it was like you're choosing classes and they all sound very like you're at a university, which is super cool. But let's get into the roles. Let's go. Alright, first throw. Oh, I got it! I'm amazing, just letting you know. Okay. Woo! Alright, the first prompt is dark cover, and that has a punishment on it. Cool! Cool, love that for my first throw. Alright, let's just move some of these around, and I'll replace that with name in the title. Okay. Oh my god, my knees are already sore. Alright. Throw number 2. This is annoyingly easy. Am I too close? My knees. Oh. Okay. I better miss at some point. Prompt number 2 is a Backlist book, and that also has a punishment on it. Cool. This is what I get for saying in our SeasonAthon group chat that I kind of wanted to do some of the punishments. Because now I'm going to get all the punishments. So replacing that with a friend recommendation. Throw number 3. That bounced. That was kind of cool. I was aiming for this first cup, but it bounced, so I got this one instead. Oh, I'm just flicking water all over my mum's floor. Sorry, Ma. And that prompt is a TV or movie adaptation. Huh. Okay, not a huge fan of those, but okay. So I'm replacing that with middle grade. Oh, my poor knees. Throw number 4. And I missed. There we go. There's a miss. Okay, throw number 4 again. And I missed again. Okay. This was a bad idea. Okay, 3 more chances. Whoa, that missed completely. Okay. I made a bad decision. I made a very bad decision. Okay, so now I have to do 6 throws, which is fine. Second go at throw number 4. Oh, that was so close. It's moved the cup. Okay, next. So I moved into this position because I was like, oh, am I just too good at this game? Not anymore. Oh. So my first throw moved the cups. That third throw went in the space that the moved cups created. That's annoying. Okay, 2 more throws. I jinxed myself so badly. Okay. That's another miss. Third attempt at the 4th throw. Okay. Okay. Wow, I jinxed myself so bad. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Well, the prompt is getting wet. Okay. What is that prompt? New author. It's very wet. Next prompt is disability rep. Okay, I'm down to 4 balls. I think 1 went under the bed. And I can't be bothered to pick that up. But I'm on throw number 5 out of 7. And if I miss again, then it's 8 throws. So. Oh, we all know this is gonna miss, don't we? Yep, right, so that is now 8 throws. Oh, I got it. Yes. Okay, I kicked the camera. I hope that's better now. But, got it in here. And the prompt is star. Which is good, because I'm pretty sure that's a Adventure-a-thon prompt. So that's good. Alright, replacing that with gifted. Maybe if I go back like this, I'll get some more. Alright. This is first attempt at throw number 6. Yeah, so I need to sit like this all the time. Unfortunately, I've already got that prompt. Okay, so whatever this is, I have to combine it with new author. Disability rep. Okay, I could probably work that. And replace that with female author. Alright, first throw for throw number 7, whatever. Missed. 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 Ooh, got it. Okay, so this, whatever this is, I have to combine it with dark cover. It is a name in the title. Okay. And replacing that with blind pick that has a reward. Okay, so this is my 8th and final throw. If I miss twice, then I have to add a throw. So, let's go. Alright. If I miss again, it's another throw. Oh, I got it for the one I was aiming! And I haven't done that yet. Nice. Okay. Oh, my poor knees. Alright. The very last prompt is LGBTQIA+ that has a reward. I didn't really do the punishments and rewards as Krystal intended. So for the rewards, I did end up getting 1 reward, and I just completely, like, it was the last throw. So I haven't done anything for the rewards. So if anyone can think of something that I could now do for the reward after the fact, let me know. And I'll try and figure out something. But for the punishments, I got 2 punishments in this game. And for the punishments, instead of doing anything in Pickpongathon, I have decided to have those two punishments, use them in SeasonAthon. So one of the things with SeasonAthon is, you know, if you don't complete a week's prompt or challenge or both, there are consequences. So I got 2 punishments. So that means twice during the month of September, whether I complete a week or not, I'm gonna be putting in 2 extra punishments in SeasonAthon. I don't know how I'm gonna work out which weeks I'm gonna take those punishments on. I don't know, but you'll see which weeks I take these punishments on in my SeasonAthon vlogs, if I get around to doing them. We'll see. So, punishments and rewards, completely different, but we're just here to pick the books. So the first one was a dark cover, but then I had to combine that with name in the title because it was in the same cup. This was so hard to find. I don't understand why it was this hard to find, but I eventually found a book, and that is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I have been wanting to read this for so long because it just seems weird. Like, you can't even understand the synopsis. Piranesi lives in the house, perhaps he always has. In his notebooks, day after day, he makes a clear and careful record of its wonders. The labyrinth of halls, the thousands upon thousands of statues, the tides that thunder up staircases, the clouds that move in slow procession through the upper halls. On Tuesdays and Fridays, Piranesi sees his friend, the Other. At other times, he brings tributes of food and water lilies to the dead, but mostly he is alone. Messages begin to appear, scratched out in chalk on the pavement. There is someone new in the house, but who are they and what do they want? Are they friend or do they bring destruction and madness as the Other claims? It sounds so freaking good. Honestly, this sounds like exactly my type of book. It's weird and I don't really think you're supposed to understand what is happening, but oh my god, I am so hyped for this. I cannot wait to read it. And I also just love that the cover has like the name on the naked hardback. Like, is that not just stunning? Stunning, stunning book. So next up I had Backlist, and for this it also took me a while because a bunch of the books I wanted to read came out in 2018, and for some reason for me that wasn't backlist enough. I don't know why. Anything that wasn't published in 2023 is technically a backlist. But for some reason to me I was like, no, 2018 was only like last year, so you know, can't do that. But I ended up picking Dark Space by Lisa Henry for this, and it was published in 2012, so definitely a backlist. But I've also been wanting to read this for a really long time. It is queer, sci-fi, military-esque, because there are these soldiers on a spaceship and they are in training, and something happens to one of our main characters on a mission or something, and he needs a temporary human pacemaker. So he shares like a heartbeat with this other guy, and they share more than a heartbeat. They start sharing thoughts and feelings and have this really like deep connection. But it sounds like an interesting concept, and you know, if you've been here for all of 2 seconds, you know I'm gonna read all of the queer books I can. And then for adaptation, I'm going to read The Whispering Skull by Jonathan Stroud, which is the second in the Lockwood & Co. series. I really enjoyed Lockwood & Co., the first book I read. It was really good. Weirdly dark for like a middle grade series. I loved it. There was recently a Netflix adaptation, a TV show. I think it only got 1 season, unfortunately. It did get cancelled, which is awful because it was really good. I only watched part of the first season because that first part of it was the first book, The Screaming Staircase, and then the second part of that season was the second book, which is The Whispering Skull. So I need to read The Whispering Skull so I can watch the rest of the TV show because I really want to see the rest of the TV show. So next up I had a new author, And I had to combine that with disability rep because, again, they went in the same cup. This actually worked out pretty well, in all honesty. The book I chose for this is Our Bloody Pearl by D.N. Bryn. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. Lana from the India Chords wants me to read it, and I'm finally going to get to it. So I think this is about sirens, and it's also queer in some way. A bunch of sirens are being hunted and captured, potentially found family as well. I'm not really sure what's happening. I know there is disability rep in here. One of the characters is paralyzed. I don't know how much of their body is paralyzed, but they're paralyzed in some way. It's relatively short, which is awesome. And I've been wanting to try D.N. Bryn's work for a long time. So we're gonna go with this. And I am looking forward to it. I really don't know what it's about, and I'm sorry I can't give you an explanation, but... So next up I got Star, which just means a star on the cover, I assumed. So for this I will be reading Star Collector Volume 1 by Anna B. and Sophie Schonhammer. This is a queer manga that I found on KU. It just seems to be about this one guy that likes smoking and skipping school, and he somehow meets this other guy that has a telescope, and they fall for each other while looking at the stars. I totally know what this is about. Absolutely. But it's a manga, and it works for my 30 in 30, which is reading 30 volumes of manga in 30 days. It's queer, it has stars on the cover and in the title, so it's good. And then the last pick that I got was LGBTQIA+, which is very simple for me to fulfill because I mostly read queer books. But for this, I decided to go with Rebound by L.A. Witt, which is the first in the Pucks and Rainbows series. Now, because of Steph from the Novelty Corner, I have been really wanting to read some queer hockey romances. And so I'm going to start with this one because I already own it. But this seems to be about a single dad and a hockey player, and lots of baggage, and I think there's also an age gap. Yes, a 40-something single dad and a 20-something hockey star. One is a cop and he has teenagers. Okay, this seems angsty in the best way because they both have a lot of issues, and the hockey star wants to break up with his boyfriend, but his boyfriend doesn't go quietly, so he calls the cops. And the cop that ends up coming is the one that will be the love interest, and I guess like the cop helps, and they maybe like they heal each other. That would be lovely. But there is a hockey element to it, and it seems like a good time. Seems like a traumatizing time, but like a good time, and I'm here for that. So that is all of my Pickpongathon picks. Now for SeasonAthon Academy, I was going to do so many classes, but then I'm like, you know what? You're already doing several readathons, so let's put it down a bit. Let's calm and not do all of them. So I'm doing kind of the bare minimum, but it's an interesting array of books, so let's get to that. So the first class is English 1020, which is a new to you author, and for this I'll be reading Dark Space, because I haven't read any Lisa Henry before. And I've already talked about this, so I'm not going to talk about it again, but you know, it's a new book. Next up is English 1310, which is a short story collection. And for this, I'm going for a book I'm really excited for, honestly. And that is Fungi, which is edited by Oren Gray and Sylvia Marina Garcia, with stories by Jeff Vandermeer, Laird Barron, W.H. Pugmire, Nick Mantis, and many more. But this seems to be about a fungi. Is that cover not just stunning? I love this cover. So this is a collection of fungal wonders and terrors. In this new anthology, writers reach into the rich territory first explored by William Hope Hodgson a century ago, the land of the fungi. Stories range from noir to dark fantasy, from steampunk to body horror. Ooh. It sounds good. I love me some shrooms. So reading a book about shrooms is going to be awesome. And the story by Jeff Vandermeer I'm really interested in because I do really enjoy the Southern Reach trilogy. So this should be a good time. And I mean, there's so many stories in here. I should try and do like one a day. There's probably more than that. Next up is Art 1110, which is a graphic novel or manga. So for this, I'm going to read I'm Kind of Chubby and I'm Your Hero, Volume 1 by Nor. This is about a fat male main character who is an actor, and he's feeling a little bit self-conscious, but then a pastry chef sends him a little package of his like appreciation full of all the sweets. And the main character is like, oh my god, someone likes me, like, you know, I have a fan. And it just seems super, super cute. It is queer and looks like adorable fat rep. I'm super looking forward to this. Next up is Anthology 1400, to read a book published before you were born. Now, as an archaeologist, I had to pick the anthropology prompt. Like, I had to. I just had to. And so for this, I will be reading Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. This is the No Fear Shakespeare edition of his plays, which is where there is the original play on one side and then the kind of modern day translation on the other side. So each page does the same thing. But I really enjoy reading it this way because I'm not well versed enough in Shakespeare that I can just immediately understand it. So I need the versions where there's like a modern translation. But Much Ado About Nothing was obviously published when Shakespeare was around, so definitely before I was born. And it's a kind of a enemies to lovers romance with some friends meddling in it as well. It should be an interesting time, and I definitely need to read more of my Shakespeare, so I'm glad I could get this on to the TBR. And then the last class I'm going to take is Foreign Language 2140, which is to read a book by an author from another country. So for this, taking it easy on myself, and I'm reading another manga. And that is Manly Appetites Volume 1 by Mito. So this author is from Japan. And again, this is a queer fat romance. It's about two co-workers, and this one loves feeding this one. And I think because this one is always grumpy unless he's around food, and this one just wants to see him smile, so he just keeps feeding him. But it seems like it's going to be really, really cute, and it's queer, so I love that. Also, it's just a manga and it's nice and short, because I feel like the short story collection is going to take me a while to read, because I haven't read a short story collection in years, so that might take me a little bit to get into. So having some easier books on my TBR will really help that. But that is my Pickpongathon and SeasonAthon Academy TBRs for September. I hope you had fun watching me be in pain. It's always a good time. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!